Hello everyone. Today we're going to be taking a look at my boxed Nintendo 64 collection. I have somewhere roughly around 120 Nintendo 64 games. They're all boxed with the instruction manual, and I'd say 95% of them have the precautions booklet included. Eventually I'd like to get all of them where they have them. I don't have any of the ultra rare games like Sculptor's Cut or Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine, but I do have some of the more desirable games, and I have a lot of the more expensive common games. So let's go take a look, and I'll go ahead and point out also which games I originally owned, and we'll take a look at some of the more noteworthy games. I don't really have any of them in any kind of order, not alphabetically or anything. I've got some of the more like games together, but eventually I'll clean it up and put them in alphabetical order like everyone else. So let's get started. Pro wrestling games to start off with. Big pro wrestling fan, as you can see by my Attitude Era belt that I keep on the top of my bookshelf. The ones I had originally were WCW NWO World Tour and WCW NWO Revenge. Loved those games when I was younger. I didn't have any of the rest of them on N64. Star Fox 64. I had that game initially. This one's the Rumble Pack version, of course. It was okay. I'm not a huge fan of on-rail shooters. Had Mario Kart 64, just like everyone else. Also, some of these games, you'll see they're more shiny. That's because I've got the box protectors on them. If you're a box collector, I definitely recommend them. Not only do they keep the boxes looking great, but they protect them, and they make some of the boxes that aren't as pristine look a lot better. It shapes them up and keeps them in form. So definitely a good pickup. Conker's Bad Fur Day. I actually had this game when it first came out. This was the last N64 retail game that I bought. I bought it at an EB right when GameCube and PS2 were first coming out. I think it's overrated. I think the only reason people love it is because it's rated M and they've got some foul language. It just didn't do anything for me. I never really got into it, so to each his own. Mario 64, favorite game of all time. Love this game. Like most people, I got it along with my N64 the first day I bought it. Pilot Wings, did not have that until later on, but this was the first game that I picked up when I decided to start collecting N64. I only had the cart and manual when I first got it, so I went back and completed it, got the box, but that's the one that started all for me as far as collecting N64 as a retro collector. Wave Race. I actually went to buy GoldenEye, and it was completely sold out. GoldenEye was sold out for months when it first came out. You could not find that game anywhere. There were totally shortages everywhere. And I had money in hand. I was an 8th grader. I needed to buy some kind of a game, so I came home with Wave Race, and maybe that's why to this day I don't really think it's that great. Kind of disappointed, I guess, that I didn't get GoldenEye. Quest 64 had this game. It's a good little RPG. I think it gets a bad rap. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it's a nice game. Collector's Edition of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I was actually in Toys R Us the first day that you could reserve copies for this game. I'll never forget, I believe it was November 23rd, 98, picking it up. We were going to be off then out of school for the next few days for Thanksgiving, so I really got to sink my teeth into it. Majora's Mask, it's a collector's edition also. Got this for Christmas the year it was released. Ogre Battle 64. That's one of the more desirable games out there. I didn't own it initially. I got it later on down the road. Mario Golf. Loved this game when I was younger. Loved to play it with my friends. We had an absolute blast on weekends with that game. Moving along, Turok Dinosaur Hunter. I did have that game originally. Most people did, I would say. Doom 64, didn't own that, but I actually really love this game. I think it's kind of overlooked. It's really fun. We've got some more first-person shooters there. GoldenEye 007. I don't have to say anything about this. Everyone knows about that game. Classic. Then the follow-up, World Is Not Enough. Perfect Dark. We rented it when it first came out, and I didn't like it because of the slow frame rate. Never bought it until 2 years ago maybe, and got into it, really like it now. I can understand why it has such a cult following. It's a good game. I kind of missed out on that one when it first came out. Shadows of the Empire. Man, I loved this game. It's looking back, it's not that great, but at the time, my mind was blown by this game. I've got a funny story about this game that I might tell sometime. Love it. Rogue Squadron had that one. Loved it. Not quite as much as Shadows, but it was a great game. We got Episode 1 Racer. Micro Machines, I'm missing the car. And some more racing games down there. The couple San Francisco Rushes flanking the shelf there. We got Top Gear Rally, Mission Impossible, Bomberman, Blast Corps. Everyone loves Smash Brothers. I never got into it. I had a friend that played it with me. He owned the game when it first came out. I couldn't figure out what the heck was going on. It just seemed like there was too much happening on screen for me to pick up. So that's one franchise I never did get into. Banjo-Kazooie, that was one I overlooked when I was younger. This game came out, I was an 8th grader. Anything cutesy like a Banjo-Kazooie was not cool to like. So I missed out on that one. But I've been playing it a lot lately. It's a great game. Vigilante 8, Tetrasphere, Army Men, Body Harvest. Spider-Man. I bought this one when it was new. Loved that game when it came out. Rampage and Namco Museum at the end. And I've got Rugrats in Paris the Movie up there. Let's see what else we have. We've got some boxing games, soccer, basketball. Not much of a basketball guy. Quarterback Club 98. I owned this one when it came out. The graphics were amazing at the time. It's kind of a bad game today, in my opinion. Madden 01. Had it when it came out. NHL Breakaway 98. I've always enjoyed hockey. Big Blues fan. Keith Tkachuk on the cover there as a Coyote. Didn't own it originally. I borrowed it a lot from a friend and went ahead and bought it later on, years later. I still play it sometimes. Then we got some more soccer and baseball games. Come down to the bottom of my shelf here. I hope the lighting is okay. Automobile, Lamborghini, Beetle Adventure Racing, Rampage 2, Clay Fighter 63 1/3, but not the Sculptor's Cut. Snowboard Kids 2. That's kind of a more uncommon game right there. So I thought I'd point it out. Midway's Greatest Hits. Mario Party, everyone loves that one. Ridge Racer 64, Jet Force Gemini, Killer Instinct, Excite Bike, Chameleon Twist. That last one there is Top Gear Overdrive. And I actually ran out of some space on my shelf, so I've got some more games here. Yoshi's Story. It's a good game. Elmo's Letter Adventure. It works. And of course you can't have that without Elmo's Number Journey. And again, all I can say is that it works. Flying Dragon, I just picked this up not too long ago. I don't really know much about it. Haven't really played it. International Superstar Soccer 64. Don't mind the label. It does have the instructions in it. Need to get a box upgrade on that one eventually. NASCAR 99. Chameleon Twist 2. This is a game that's not all too common either. It's a little bit more rare. So I thought I'd point it out. And I've got one Japanese N64 game. Virtual Pro Wrestling 64. I got this in a lot with a lot of other N64 games, and this was the only Japanese one in there. I have played it. I took the back off and put a different games back on there. It's pretty much a carbon copy of World Tour in the US. It does have a different roster. They've got like Andre the Giant and stuff on there, so kind of cool, but I'd rather play World Tour. It's in English. I've got some other, I'm going to show you some white here so I can hold some things up. But I do have a few other boxed items to show you. Rumble Pack. This is just the box. I keep the Rumble Pack accessible. But, so I've got a boxed Rumble Pack. I have actually two boxes for the N64 controller. These were mine originally. I've saved them for all these years. I guess you could say I'm a little bit of a pack rat, but that's how I became a collector. Then I've got some VHS tapes that they sent me. Nintendo Power did originally. This one's Diddy Kong Racing. The cassette tape, as you can see, is still in there. So I kept that. They also sent me the cassette tape for Banjo-Kazooie, which I still have. Wasn't impressed when I saw it, just because, like I said, I was kind of a snotty middle schooler. This one Toys R Us sent. I think it was just breaking down a bunch of sports games that were available at the time. But I went ahead and kept it. Kind of cool. Then I've got, and it could be cleaned up a little bit, but my original Nintendo 64 box. And the cool thing about this box, on the date, or on the back, it's got a sticker where you're supposed to put your date of purchase. And if we focus in there, you can see purchase date July 22nd, 1997. So I thought that was kind of cool. I know exactly when I bought my N64. And the story behind that is I went to Best Buy. They had a promotion running. At the time, the N64 was on sale, $149.99. That previous Christmas season, it was $199.99, so it was marked down $50. And if you bought it from Best Buy, you also got a Walkman So I still actually have that Walkman. Used to use it a lot back in the day. I don't have any more audio cassette tapes really, but I still have the Walkman. The headphones have since died, but that's where I got my N64. Bought it at Best Buy in July of '97 for $50 off and had to get that Walkman with it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is actually my first collecting video ever, and I'll go ahead and post some more as I continue to update my collection, or if anybody's interested, and hopefully I get a little bit better. Like I said, this is the first one, so cut me a little bit of slack. But if you really want to trash me, we've got the comment section below, so go ahead and feel free. Thanks a lot, everyone. Have a good day. And like I said, hopefully I'll post some updates soon.